Today, I want to talk to you about Rooney, a 27-year-old Kurdish doctor from Syria. Rooney was a practicing doctor in Syria until his hometown became too unsafe. He had to flee for his life. Every 2 seconds, someone just like Rooney flees their home for good, often being separated from their family and friends, leaving their livelihood and key documents behind. This unprecedented migration of over 70 million people is the largest in human history. Thousands of people, just like Rooney, then complete a dangerous journey, traversing the entirety of Europe before being granted an asylum in countries like the UK. His story and 70 million others around the world share one thing in common: they're refugees. A refugee is someone who's been forced to leave their home in order to escape war or persecution, and then can't return safely. These refugees apply for asylum status, which allows them to remain in countries such as the UK. There are currently over 120,000 people with asylum status in the UK. Obtaining this status is actively changing and will become more difficult in the near future. People seeking asylum are not allowed to work in the UK. However, once this status is granted, they have a period of 28 days in the UK to find a new job and accommodation before they're evicted from asylum seeker accommodation. At this stage, many refugees become homeless and do any work they can find, which is likely to be unskilled labour. In the case of Rooney, he ended up in Middlesbrough with nothing. No friends, no family, and no career. And worst for him, he couldn't practice medicine. 82% of refugees at this stage are unemployed. However, 38% of these refugees, just like Rooney, have a university degree. There is a huge pool of untapped potential in these refugees who have skills and talents that could benefit the host country. For example, in the UK, the NHS currently has over 97,000 vacancies. To retrain a doctor like Rooney and employ him would cost the NHS £5,000. To train a doctor in the UK from scratch to fill that same slot cost the NHS £250,000. It's a win-win situation. However, we must bear in mind that there are barriers. Skill atrophy, language barriers, and documentation validation issues, just to name a few. In Rooney's case, he would need to prove that he's a doctor and sit revalidation exams, which would be more difficult if he hasn't practiced medicine in a year and if the institution that he had practiced medicine in was destroyed. Charities do exist that can help solve some of these barriers. However, there are no clear ways for them to coordinate support for the variety of different problems these refugees face. That's where my social enterprise comes in. We aim to get skilled refugees into appropriate work using an online platform, working with charities and industry partners. And we've worked with refugee centres throughout London and have listened to many, many stories. Ahmed, a qualified dentist, instead now working as a cleaner in a very dental practice he could be a dentist in. Benian, a jeweller with 15 years experience, instead working as an Uber driver. These are just a few of the many stories that we have seen. By linking refugees to appropriate work for their skills, we aim to break that stigma against refugees, as well as benefit industry with a diverse, skilled workforce. We've been working with industry and with local and national government to achieve this goal. However, we shouldn't be measuring success simply by the number of refugees who we get into work. Instead, we want to promote a wider mindset for change. Highly skilled refugees are a genuine benefit to us all, regardless of their story and background. There is a strong negative rhetoric associated with refugees. According to current, quite inflammatory news headlines at the moment, refugees are seen as these violent, illegal individuals who really should be sent back to where they came from. However, this simply isn't the whole picture. Rooney was one of the lucky people able to find a scheme in Middlesbrough that helped refugee doctors revalidate their medical licenses and is now practicing in the UK. There are a huge number of people, just like Rooney, with untapped potential. Together, we can help them and change the perception of refugees from a burden to a benefit.